Second result is other documents in the scene, also in this form and in this doc. And yeah, there's some learnings that we need to translate in time, and also to make sure the accuracy, high quality, and otherwise it was too late, then the proposal it normally just 5 days, and if we also translate not accuracy, it will lead misunderstanding or other or lead to the other way. So this is the learnings also for almost all basic proposals, documents, even for the AMA. Yeah, we also did it. This is overview and distributed. We also did it and in the WeChat group and also Telegram announcement channel, and also in Discord scene channel. And yeah, this one a key result that we need to collect the questions for this document proposals from committee, and then bring them to related contributors. We see the feedback, and yeah, and one topic that to the weekly meeting, and to collect the questions and then present to contribute. For example, for executive branch proposal, we know now our treasury situation, so the rock tier, I think this proposal is popular, and made some adjustment, and we pass it. And also Max EC, we also collected, and also the question feedback from community, and also to need support from our community. We also did, and then we still list and by XEC them. So exactly several topics that we have did. Learning that we really need to listen at voice and question from community, and then transfer this voice and question to contributors. Sometimes it's not easy, and we're still doing it, improve it, and hope we can get better. Yeah, this is also the team contributions. The second big one is monthly MA. What we did is that before the monthly MA, that end of each month we hold MA between the committee and the contributors, and to bridge them. They have, I see the chance that to not face to face, but voice to voice direct communication. And before that, we will collect the questions, and also the oral translation by MA directly. Yeah, also I think we missed 1 or 2 records for the MA, but after that we also had a record. This is not from me, and also I think from Michio or Lucas. Thanks. Yeah, it's learning that we need to collect these questions in time, and 1 or 2 weeks before the MA, and to that committee members have time to write their questions, and have time to think about their questions. Yeah. Also another learning is that it's not easy due to different time zones, because contributors from different countries, also the same here, also another time zone, so it's actually not easy to find a free time for we see for all the members or for all the contributors. Yeah, this is the team contributions. Then you can also, there's several. Yeah, I collected the questions and then translated before the MA, and then yeah, the oral translations Marco, her all English is better than me. She lives in Canada, and yeah, the first one MA was translated by me, and the rest translated by her. It seemed like she made, for translation, she did better than me. Yeah, this is the result that we did for MAs. Yeah, for the nodes for the MA, we have I think 2 or 3 records, and not all of them. We're trying to write the nodes for MA in a written documentation, but it seems not easy. So we have here just not finished off it 50%. Yeah, I attend the weekly Senate meeting, and actually was planned that Malcolm or me who can did it, but it seems like they have a problem with the time, and yeah, I did it, and then we collected the voice from Discord scene channel, WeChat group, and then transfer this voice to the Senate meeting. Is also not 100% fulfilled, and we tried to did it, and each week we also have the bridge and the translation meeting, and I also because me and Marco couldn't attend the Senate meeting, so I collected the feedback from them, from WeChat, and then I from Discord. I also got some DM from WeChat, and collect these questions, and then bring to the Senate meeting. What the improvement here is also suggestion from Pablo. The bridge team announced searching the AI tool which can translate our Senate meeting directly, and at least the subtitle something. Then we can have a summary, and then in different languages. Yeah, the bridge here is that we nominated the monthly AMA, and also trying to set up a WeChat office group, but it was just live for I think 1 or 2 weeks, and was banned. I think complained by one member something. Yeah, so here the learning is that really not easy. It's very difficult to bridge, and due to different culture. So yeah, I see maybe just 60% we did it. There's team contributions here, and the objective 4 is that the Telegram announcement channel, and we set it and posted all the proposals and documents and all important. Sorry, I need to. It's my Telegram, I think. Oh, not, it's my WeChat. And at now, I think 42 members joined the Telegram announcement channel, and we also invited some, and some are not so interested in joining the Telegram announcement channel. Yeah, we post also these documents in this channel, and normally I did it, and also in Discord, and I think the most also in Twitter seeing them. Yeah, this is the coordinate result.
Yeah, I don't think you need to get into coordinate or the rest of the checklist. Just going over the results are good. But yeah, okay. Thanks, Balak. Yeah, any questions for Balak on the final report? Or yeah, any thoughts about Balak's presentation?
No thoughts from me. Thanks, Balak.
Okay, thanks, Michi.
Yeah, thanks, Balak. Yeah, I think it's evident, if you look at where our bridging or translation was with the CN community at the beginning of the quarter versus now, yeah, things are a lot smoother. So, yeah, the team definitely has helped a ton in kind of just bridging that understanding. I feel like a lot of that isn't necessarily captured in like the day-to-day of like translating a document, but just having a few members that are pretty high context about what's happening in these meetings and what's going on, and being able to answer questions and just generally get feedback in a more direct way with the community, yeah, was very helpful. So thank you, Balak.
No problem. Then I also move to the next final report. Okay.
Sounds good.
Can you? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And also like a high level note in general, because what the I guess the audience here they really care about just the results. So I don't think you necessarily need to go into this person did this, that person did that, because that's handled internal to the team. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think the high level results are the most important part here. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Thanks for the remind. Okay. This is a very old VC project. The name is Video Production or Video Bounty Project, and the summary that was led by our former contributor. A lot of people I think know it, but new contributor not. But he left MoonDAO, and then I took this project. So this project aim to create about 2 videos through bounties in work for MoonDAO, and then various promotion plans. But I think that this was the OKRs were not unrealistic, and also so it took very long time to talk to the video makers to make small adjustment, and also to review it, contact the video makers, the original idea we study or something. So yeah, so it took so long. At the beginning, really sorry about the situation. And yeah, but at the end we got 4 videos and agreed that at the moment we don't need more videos at the moment. Then yeah, and so we need to close this project for this quarter. So I think the most important OKR here is make a video. There's several we see unrealistic OKRs or too much OKRs, so won't be finished. As you can hear, here is the object 2 is most important one, that we through the bounties on which we used in dwork, then to generate it up to 8 videos, and at the end we got 4 videos. One is that I think the first one is the interview with several early contributors, with Pablo, me, and Rufi, and the Lorities. I think maybe still 1 or 2 members to know a little more about the early days of MoonDAO, and I think this one is more important, and one is that the MoonDAO future. What think about this very interesting video, and what the MoonDAO will achieve in 2030 or something. Some imagine about MoonDAO in the future, and there's one video from Ari. He did a interview or dinner interview with several industry leaders about space exploration, and also he also mentioned MoonDAO in that big stage. And yeah, there's another one who which introduced about MoonDAO governance, how to make a contribution by MoonDAO step by step something. Yeah, I think these 4 are very good for MoonDAO, and for more topics, I think yes, at the moment I couldn't find it. This is necessary. So yeah, the OKRs here, as you can see, the most review or to communicate with video makers, I did it, and promote, we did it in YouTube, and also in Twitter, Discord, and also Twitter CN channel. We got the reviews here. I think yeah, a lot of OKRs were not finished. Yeah, here is that we published this video in several VC a campaign was so much deleted and write update content to YouTube. Then this is main result. Yeah, we announced in different channels, and in Twitter, in the OTCN, in different channels. Then this is a long project, but actually a simple one. Yeah, that's all. Any questions?
I mean, I think with this project, more than anything, we just came out with a lot of learnings about bounties in general, and also the handoffs if a member leaves. So I think we learned a lot through this project. But I think all of the videos, if people want to check out, I guess the results of this, just go to our YouTube, and you'll see each of the videos posted. So I don't have anything else. Thanks, Bollock.
No problem. Any further questions?
Cool.
Okay, if no, then I will stop screen sharing.
All right, thanks, Bollock. All right, up next is the app expansion, and I'll be presenting on this one. So I thought I'd just actually go to the app itself because in general I think these projects should just speak for themselves in terms of the results. We can go through each of the OKRs afterwards, but I just kind of want to show you guys the current status of the app. I'm really proud of what the team was able to put together. The app is a lot cleaner now, simpler. We took stuff that was in a bunch of different places before and put it all in one place. And this gives us basically the foundation to build a bunch of other things through the app. So we're hoping that this app will replace a lot of the functionality of Discord over time. And this will be the main place where, if you want to interact with our governance, you can submit proposals through here. You can create projects through this, and it'll walk you through each step of the process. But those are kind of more future directions, but I just kind of want to give an idea of like why we need something like this. So the app is really just trying to make a lot of these flows and interactions that people have with the community a lot simpler, or just more straightforward. So right now the main thing that you can do with the app is lock your tokens. So we've extended the functionality to not only allow you to lock your tokens with ETH, but also on Polygon. So one of the main hurdles right now for locking is pretty much just that it's expensive. And so now that we have the staking contracts on Polygon, and also the ability to bridge over your Mooney from L1 to L2, this should make it a lot cheaper for people to become a part of the community. We also link out to basically all of the onboarding steps, so you can buy Mooney directly through here, through Uniswap, and then lock your tokens, or oops, didn't mean to click that, or bridge your Mooney over through Polygon through the Polygon bridge. So it also links through to the 0G site, so you can purchase tickets through this site. Also, you can purchase life ships through this. We're also thinking of integrating the marketplace. So marketplace right now just links out here to MoonDAO, and definitely snag these shields if you get the chance. They're made by Colin through ControlNet. So this is like AI applied to our logo with just different cool space themed backgrounds. So this collection is really just trying to showcase how the marketplace will be working, and that'll also be part of the sweepstakes. Is we're going to be using that marketplace. So yeah, the marketplace will be a little bit closer integrated with this app. Onboarding will be made a lot simpler through the app too. You can also see our events through the calendar. Analytics, this one's pretty cool. So you can see, yeah, the amount of locked Mooney in circulation. You can see statistics about the marketplace. Yeah, our treasury, the amount of tokens that we have in the treasury, transactions that are coming in and out of the treasury, just in an effort to be as transparent as possible. And yeah, yeah, at the end of the day, this just gives us a really strong foundation to build a bunch of other things on top of it. So yeah, yeah, I'm pretty proud of everything that the team was able to put together. And yeah, I can also go through a little bit of the OKRs here, but I don't want to spend too much time on this since you guys can kind of read this in your own time. But yeah, just overall improving of the user experience. We had a user survey to try to measure this, and yeah, we'll be collecting more results over time. A lot of these results will really, I guess, be more evident as we actually launch the app. So yeah, the app will be launched soon, and yeah, yeah, most of it is consolidating websites, just making sure that we have like one core repo that people can build inside of, and this also helps from a dev point of view, because yeah, we can start just having like one spot where people can submit PRs and yeah, go through a quick process for new devs that might want to interact with our app, and yeah, make it easier to review their code, so that we don't have to jump through a bunch of different code bases. Having everything in one place makes it a lot easier. But yeah, any questions about that, or yeah, thoughts about the project in general?
Not a question, but I just want to give a little shout out to Brian, who did also some great design work that we didn't get the chance to implement within the scope of this project, but will eventually be implemented within the ongoing onboarding improvement project.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so there was a lot of stuff that we're rolling into the next quarter. So yeah, new designs, a better onboarding experience, integration of the marketplace, and then yeah, the sky's the limit with this. So we really want to just keep iterating and improving on the app as we go. Just make it as easy and straightforward as possible for people to like do everything that they need to do within the community. So yeah, and also I feel like the community should like eventually. I really want the very direct feedback as we get to using this more and more. So yeah, like if you guys have any thoughts or ideas for like things that we could add or things that we could remove, yeah, definitely, yeah, welcome that. So cool.
I will post a link in the chat, because the user survey form is still open. So if people have feedback or ideas about the UI at MoonDAO in general, then yeah, we'd like to still hear it.
Sweet. I see Luffy raise his hand, and I want to recommend anyone, if you guys are listening in the audience, to throw out questions in the chat, and yeah, we can answer them. Just makes it a little easier and smoother. And then yeah, we can open things up more at the end too, if people want to jump on stage and talk and hang out. But just in the effort of not extending this meeting, this meeting could be 3 hours long. We've done that before, so yeah, doing things through the chat is a little bit faster. But cool. I guess if there are no other questions, then yeah, Luffy is asking if the bridge function is available. Yes, it is. So we've mapped the token. If you click this bridge Mooney, it takes you to a generic Polygon page, but yeah, you can go to the native bridge, and then Mooney is listed there. So, and we also have a walkthrough, so people can like. There's a little video that we created to make it a little easier. So, yeah. Cool. All right, so let's see. The next project we've got here on the agenda is Lunar Comms, so I'll hand it over to Phil.
Okay, thanks.
Stop sharing my screen too.
I'm mostly just going to read the summary and go over the OKRs. There's a lot of work that went into this. I've talked about it at a few Senate meetings, but the TLDR is that this project was pitched as doing work for NASA's Next Step 2 proposal, even though we didn't get to submit, just doing the work anyway. Soon after we got the go-ahead to start this project, we found a very similar proposal from DARPA, the Luna 10. And so all the work done for this project was basically culminated in a bunch of deliverables that were submitted to DARPA for this research study. So the gist of it is that we assembled a team of 7 or 8 individuals, including me, Pablo, and Greg, and everyone else from different industries across the world. The Open Compute Project, Open Lunar Foundation, and Added Value Systems, which is a company that they actually manufacture instruments for ESA and things like that. And so we made a lot of great connections through this, and getting those people together in the same room ended up in a pitch to deliver positioning, navigation, and timing, aka like GPS-like signals, to the moon using a decentralized approach. So the team wrote a 3-page abstract, submitted it. It was accepted, so we submitted a 10-page text document that went into good technical detail, along with a 20-slide presentation and 4 supplementary documents, including things like a projected budget and sample contract if we were to be awarded. So we submitted it on time, and the rest of down here is kind of a list of topics that were included in the proposal. I plan to share this once we hear the result from DARPA, but the collaborators have asked to sort of withhold or at least get approval from the group for sharing it until the decision is released or public. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. Where our pitch was mostly like this isn't comms topology; it's PNT using comms. So that's why this relates and satisfies these objectives. Sorry about my dog, if you can hear him. We're basically we identified technologies and pitched a way to use communication signals that are likely to already occur around the moon as a way to transfer time between people, and then we described an example where people could use like helium network terrestrially, which is like you can buy hardware and serve internet to other people and they pay you in a token, something like that at the moon. And we went into great detail on how that would scale, commercialization. Greg identified some like data-driven metrics, quantifiable things that we would use to evaluate regular GNSS versus the proposed system. And all of this, we packaged it in a way like, how would we accomplish this over 7 months with a bunch of money? So in terms of the results, I'll be quick here. One objective was to do a study based on the NASA Next Step 2 solicitation, study area number 3, which was network topologies. Instead, we did Luna 10, but we created an outline of the effort and tools needed to actually complete this as part of our Luna 10 project. Another key result here is the nature of different network topologies, and our research included pitching a decentralized network system for this versus traditional GPS-like system, and potentially hybrid between them. And characterize data-driven metrics that would be used to compare those. So the next objective was to complete an internal study of actually doing this work. This was a pretty ambitious one. We didn't make any code or simulations, but we wrote like the design doc. Design doc is maybe a little too strong. We wrote an outline for the work that we would do. So we don't have any code or simulations to share, just what we want to make. And so there were no results, so there's nothing to document. There's a lot of research that went into comparing, like in order to convince DARPA to give us money, we had to get the lay of the land. Part of the proposal was actually like a full page describing the state of the art, including other people trying to do lunar comms, things that worked in LEO, things that worked on Earth, and so on. And then the few areas of future research is basically us explaining how things would scale and imagining what things could be. So in general, this final report is, I mean, it's pretty long, but it still scratches the surface. And once the decision is out, I'm really excited to actually do I'll probably do a presentation and go through the slides, because it ended up looking great. It's a lot easier to digest than the 10-pager. And I think we also forged some really strong relationships with people across different companies that are actively pursuing lunar technologies, and all share a very strong sense of openness and making things public and doing things transparently. I think 4 out of 5 of the organizations involved in this are like radically open source. Us, Open Lunar, Open Compute Project, and NICT, which is the Japanese organization that stewards Japan's time standard, and all of them like have it in the mission to be public. Yeah, I'll stop rambling. Does anyone have any questions?
I'm just excited to share the presentation with the community. I think it was a really strong submission, and just I'll want to reiterate, Phil pulled in people from literally like across the planet to make this happen, and
we had basically 24-hour coverage in terms of when people were working on it.
Yeah, and it's a very legit proposal. It's very strong. So
yeah, even if we don't, and the thing I want to say for the future work here, sorry to cut you off, Pablo, but the thing I wanted to say about future work here in terms of MoonDAO is even if we don't win DARPA's award, I think y'all can expect me to submit another proposal to continue this research, continue pulling this thread, and basically doing the research anyway. Because it's worth it, it's interesting, and it's right in line with MoonDAO's roadmap. Greg says final Red Bull count. Let's just say there's no more Red Bull in the house, and we bought like a 12-pack beforehand. We've been out of Red Bull for a while, actually. I started drinking yerba mates instead. So anyway, many.
Thanks, Phil. You answered my question. I was kind of anticipating, like, even if we don't get the funding from DARPA, it seems like there's a lot of work put in here, and yeah, a lot of potential behind it. So I'm glad to hear that you're already thinking about alternative paths forward, just in case. But
Yeah.
But you got my support.
And just to drum up the hype train, the future work, I think stuff that's reasonable can be code and like papers and things and put them on DeSci Labs. But I think it's actually a reasonable expectation that we could partner with like a university CubeSat lab or something like that and demonstrate like the key technologies that we pitched in Leo, and with basically the same setup that would work on the moon. And I think driving like as the PI and partnering with a lab that has access and expertise to build the small satellite mission, it's totally within our means and within our time frame to like in the next year come up with some CubeSats. So that's the hype that I'm driving toward. So it's not just paper stuff too. It's actually like we could be putting stuff in space pretty easily.
Yeah,
Very cool.
The really beautiful part about this, I guess, is that it's like an open standard that like other satellites can adopt. So, at the end of the day, like these payloads are going to be going up anyways. So we just kind of piggyback our technology, and then they get. Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited about it. I don't want to.
Yeah, we can get into the details when after the decision is out, and hopefully with some money in the treasury.
Totally. Cool. All right. I guess if there are no other questions for Phil, then we'll keep moving this along. I think the next one here is the B2B project. So I think we're missing Manuel, so I can present on his behalf here. Yeah, so I'll share my screen. Cool. All right. So yeah, some context on the B2B project. So the idea with this project was basically to like constantly MoonDAO is getting people that reach out that are like, we love what you're doing, we want to work with you, we want to figure out how can we partner on something or work with you, and we just didn't really have much of an information system to one, like organize all those requests, and two, figure out a way like as a community that we decide who we want to work with. And so this proposal kind of aimed to answer those two questions. And then additionally, some of the members were also interested in kind of having a outbound like outreach workforce, I guess. And so yeah, the project kind of had this like two-pronged solution towards partnerships. One that was really organizing all the information that was coming in, and then another that was reaching out to people proactively. So on the inbound side of things, we made a bunch of progress on basically having one central location. So now if you go to moondao.com, here I'll show you guys what it looks like. So if you go here to moondao.com, there's a big old button here that says Partner With Us. So this Partner With Us button takes you to a partnership form where people can input, hey, this is what we're doing, this is what's going on. Basically, I include a little bit of info about how we can reach out to them, and then an idea of like how they could support us or we could support them. And so when they click submit on this, I didn't fill it out, but what happens is all that information gets populated onto a spreadsheet that is made available to an onboarding operator that more or less like has they can quickly kind of like filter out stuff that's maybe more spam and highlight stuff that actually makes sense for us to pursue.
Pablo, I actually included a video to summarize that whole process really quickly in the report. If you watch it on like 1.5 speed, it should take about 2 minutes. says
Okay.
it says demo video. Scroll down. I think it's down. Here we go. Demo here. Oh, we just scrolled past it.
Demo here. Great.
It flashes a little bit at the beginning. That's just Loom. The website doesn't actually do that.
Going to show the partnership pipeline that we've set up here. So on the homepage, there is this new Partner with Us button. When we click on that, it brings you to the partnership form that asks for basic details and gives you a sample of what type of proposals we're looking for, and gives you a place to put in your proposal here. I've gone ahead and published, or just entered in some dummy data for this, so we'll go ahead and submit it. And you'll see that what happens is it forwards a user to a thank you page, obviously telling them to check their email. It does send them an email saying thank you for filling in the form, and then it immediately adds the information into this sheet that was intended for basically a sole operator to use. Now, the first thing you'll notice is all the information that was submitted in the form is here in this submission field, and the initial status is set to apply. If it all looks good and we think it's worthwhile to look into it, maybe move forward, we can click accepted for review. And what's happening now is in the background, we have an AI that is specifically checking this submission data for its value alignment with MoonDAO and also the specificity of the proposal. Like, is it actually actionable? And is it something that we can work with? So that's actually happening in the background right now. You can see it just completed, and it's saying here, like, does it align with our values? Yes. Is it specific and measurable? Yes. So that all looks good. If the operator decides that this isn't exactly accurate, they can add something in or remove something. But if this review seems fair, then the next step would be to put this onto review finalize. And again, we have the AI working in the background. It's going to basically use this as input and design a response that we can send to this person to basically say, like, yes, we're looking forward and moving forward, and we're interested in next steps. And so here you can see it just finished writing that response. It did it in HTML, and that's because it's important that we include or embed in a link to a partnership form, which you can see it did right here. So if we can, again, edit this if we think it looks, needs some changes, but let's say in this example this looks good, then the next thing we need to do is just say that the response is finalized. Now we just wait another moment here. The AI is again working in the background. It just sent the email and it updated this to say response sent. And so that's the final step. If we now check my email, you can see when I filled in the form, this is the initial email that I received. And then when it was approved, this was the email that was sent for approval. Also, there are two other rejection options. So if it's just total spam, we can select just rejected and nothing happens. If we select rejected other, then you can put in a reason, and it will actually still craft a dismissal email, basically telling them, like, maybe try again later or something, depending on what the reason was. But that is essentially the process. There is another part of it that forwards the submission into a Discord channel as well. But right now that's set up to happen on a trigger. So you wouldn't actually see that in Discord as it's set up. But I will be changing that so that it sends into Discord immediately. And that way it's just a little bit more transparent, although the original sheet was intended for use by a sole operator. So yeah, that's basically the process.
And just final note, one thing I didn't highlight there was that link that gets sent in the follow-up email also just links to a Google Calendar where they can, like, book a time. So I didn't demo that there, but that's there's also a link to there, I think, somewhere in this report. So yeah, that's the process.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess this is sort of like a problem that a lot of people don't see at MoonDAO, but on our socials, we're just getting bombarded with, like, people that are like, hey, we want you to do this, we want to do that. So just being able to point them towards this, and then having an automated just like email to get in contact with them, and it really takes like a massive load off of like the plate of whoever's managing our socials, or whoever's like reading all of those proposals that people are putting forward. So yeah, this was really helpful, and Michi also integrated a bunch of really cool generative AI stuff, which is always fun. So that was cool. Yeah.
Oh, and another thing that I'm actually going to be doing here, it's not done specifically, but I realized in retrospect, is that it'll be important to train the AI not to crush the dreams of children. We get a lot of submissions from kids who are just like, please send me to space. And so we want to be able to say no without, crushing their ambitions. And so I'm going to train the AI specifically to handle those cases, but that's just a side note.
Yeah. Greg's got a great question too. Yeah. I think like the system that we've set up really is just an information management system that can scale to like a bunch of people that are, blasting it with whatever. So yeah, I think it's not only extendable to like partnerships, but it could be extendable to hiring or extendable to idea generation. Yeah, it's basically just organizing a bunch of requests from people, formatting it in a standardized way, and then delivering them a really fast response.
Yeah.
So
And to be more specific, the script that I wrote, like the thing we saw there working in Google Sheets, is very modular and can be adapted to almost any purpose, and be set up to run on any trigger. I can integrate AI and Google Sheets in infinite configurations.
yeah, cool. So I guess apart from some other results, we have completed I believe four MOUs and partnerships that have gone through successfully. Joel in the audience is one of them from Future Folklore, and yeah, we also have had Intuitive Machines go through the process, Cryo DAO go through the process, and then DeSci Labs. So all very high quality, really awesome partners that I think it was able to work end to end, I guess, the system. So after the operator is done, then an MOU is basically populated, and the generative AI can also help put together those MOUs. But I think for those four, it was pretty human oriented. But yeah, and then we successfully voted on those MOUs in the Senate. So sort of end to end, we saw the flow work, but it's pretty early, and it'll probably be iterated on and extended to other parts of the DAO. So yeah, I think this is like early. We're seeing maybe just early inklings of like how generative AI can be used to manage like tons of inbound requests. So yeah, it's really cool from a technical point of view, and also just like there have been periods at MoonDAO where we just get overwhelmed with like requests for one reason or another. Even like for opening up positions for like a project. So I think being able to use stuff like this really makes it so much easier. So yeah.
Yeah, and Greg or anyone else, if you see a use case where this type of like pipeline or flow could be practical for any other projects, just hit me up and I'll help get it set up.
Cool. And lastly, I do want to mention one thing, which was kind of a learning on this project, which was that this project probably should have been factored out into two separate projects. One was much more like development and technically like focused with the inbound pipeline, and then the other was more outreach. And those two strategies we're hoping kind of could fit under the same umbrella for partnerships, but it ended up being a lot to handle and kind of difficult to get the whole system all on one page. So that was definitely a big learning, and just like trying to simplify the scope of projects and make sure that they have they're set up for success, and have like a clear mandate. This project kind of got tugged in a few different directions, and then it became a little bit more difficult to like manage the sort of internal communications issues and like than executing on the proposal. So just learnings there on trying to scope down projects to have like a focused objective, and to avoid maybe like scope creep, where we're trying to jam too many things into one thing. So yeah, but that's pretty much it. Any other questions on the partnerships B2B work? Cool. All right. So the next one here on the agenda is, scroll up a bit, MoonDAO in motion. I'll pass it over to Michi.
Cool. Give me 1 second here and I'll share my screen. Oh, sorry, I opened up the wrong doc. I thought it was all prepared. One moment. Here we go. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
It's loading on my end. By the way,
Oh, Pablo, you...
unless there we go, Mitchie's back.
Sorry, Discord loves to kick me out.
Us, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hey, Mitchie, I can see your screen, but I'm not sure if maybe it's just me. I can't hear your audio.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mitchie, it's hard to hear you. Or actually, like, it's not hard to hear you. I can't hear you at all. More accurate.
Testing.
All right. Well, while Mitchie figures out what's going on, I'll hop into the documentary, and yeah, hopefully by then. He's getting his wires crossed on the. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, all right. This is the Ticket to Space project. So, yeah, it's we're wrapping up this project. Yeah, for those that don't have the context, we were creating. Highlight the winner of the last Ticket to Space. So it was Yang Kejun from China, but since he wasn't able to get into the U.S., we had to cancel the documentary and kind of tell the documentary team, hey, sorry, it's off. We did collect a bunch of filmed content, so the team went to a big event in Florida. Where there was a tour that we did of all of the early launch sites, and then there was we went to the Blue Origin manufacturing facilities that they had there, a party that they threw for the astronauts, and got a bunch of great content. The team also did a few interviews with Yan and a few members of the team, and we also worked hard on putting together a filming contract with the group. By the end of it, a lot of work went into just recording a lot of this content. It's password protected because some of the content is sensitive, and there are people in there that haven't signed disclosures or anything. So I've got the password for it. If anyone needs to access the data, they can access it. We can use some of this data in the future. So after we select the next candidate, there's potential there for continuing the documentary, then we can do so. But yeah, just given a lot of the changes, we thought the best course of action would be to basically sunset the documentary as it stands, and then maybe restart it in the future. So yeah, I think a lot of the key results in this are really in this drive. I can there's tons of footage in here. We'll need to basically download this. I think after a month, the content that was shared in this folder will disappear. But yeah, there are a lot of videos that were recorded. Yeah, you kind of have to click through, but yeah, you can see a good amount of content. Yeah, and this is just one day of filming. So yeah. But yeah, the footage is all raw, unedited, but maybe in the future we can use it. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of the objectives and key results of the documentary. I mean, we caught portions of them because they're all really centered around Yan and Yan's journey of him, going to space, coming to the U.S. for the first time, and yeah, kind of just putting that story in some historical context, since he was going to be the first Chinese national to participate in the U.S. space program. So pretty big deal. But yeah, like I said, I want to be, I guess, like direct with this. The project wasn't completed as intended, but there was still a good amount of work that was in here. So yeah, I think yeah, we should value the time of the director and the producer that put time into this. We covered some of the just logistical expenses that they had, but they haven't received any personal payments for their time. So this will at least value some of the work that went into the documentary, even though the final actual thing wasn't delivered. So yeah, any questions?
Hey, can you hear me now? Hello? I guess not.
Cool. Maybe Mitchie has his audio now.
No, I don't.
Nope, still can't hear you, Mitchie. Yeah. All right. I guess while we're getting Mitchie up here, we can maybe keep going. So the next one is the newsletter. So Ryan is actually flying today, so he's got a video that he shared with us. Basically a Loom recording that he did. So we can play that here for you guys now. I can find it. Here it is. Cool. And I just want to make sure. Were you guys able to hear that last Loom video pretty well with Mitchie?
Yep.
Okay, great, cool. So then I'll play this. Yep.
Yes, I just wanted to give a little presentation for my final report for the Q3 newsletter reactivation project. Just basically, it was a no MVP reactivation project. We're going to kick this off again at the end of August to run through the length of Q3. The plan for the original proposal, I've got the link up here, was to send out 5 total weekly emails, 1 per week, which is what we ended up doing. They're all publicly available on MoonDAO's ConvertKit page, so you can obviously read through all these emails from within this project time period, as well as like the older ones. I also sent out an email update yesterday, well, this week on October 2nd, I guess, even though that's, hopefully part of the Q4 project, which is currently up for snapshot vote. We held steady basically around 12,300 subscribers and had around a 40% open rate during that time. We did see some good bumps for sales for things like the life ship kits. We also saw signups to our decentralized sales affiliate team when we were pushing that. So, people do read and respond to these emails. We send out sub votes and what have you as well. Yeah, the objective was basically to restart that, send out the 5 of 5 emails, kind of re-engage our subscribers, did some stuff in the background there, which is, tagging cold subscribers, pruning some of them out, trying to reactivate people because there was a lapse of time there without email updates. A couple of these email announcements got posted onto both Twitter and IG, but there was, Instagram, there was kind of a gap there just with the confusion with the executive branch communications role there. What else we got? In terms of the maintenance requirements here, I know we do have the no MVP annual subscription proposal up for snapshot vote right now. Some common questions are usually whether we are kind of locked into this service and we can move our subscribers over to a different email platform. It's easy to export them. Also, both me, Pablo, and Michi are on the admin team for ConvertKit, so there's no risk of losing access to the account if I were to disappear. The emails, you can click through and read each of them. I've got the stats for each of the emails as well, last time I checked anyways. So you can see we're hovering, between 12,400, 12,300, and an open rate between 36 and 47%. A little bit below a 1% click rate, which is something we need to work on improve. You can see how many unsubscribers we've got per email and how many people clicked. Got a screenshot here of the number of 5-star subscribers we have. So this is kind of like a rating of how engaged they are with our emails. You can see about 67% are our most engaged members opening emails or clicking on emails within the past 30 days. And we eventually try and prune out the 1 or 2-star subscribers. Here's a graph of our overall number of subscribers during the month of September, basically. Like I said, we held steady. So, that's kind of the gist of it there. You can check out all the emails here on the MoonDAO CK page. And here's a look in the back end in ConvertKit, so you can see kind of the open rates. There were some other emails that I sent out in context of other projects, so that's not necessarily specific to this Q3 re-engagement campaign or reactivation campaign. See the kind of net new subscribers on a daily basis. See, some people have subscribed when we've got emails going out, but it tends to hold steady with people coming and going. Greens are obviously the new folks each time. There's the engagement metric I was talking about earlier. It's up to 70% of the people are 5-star subscribers right now, so a little different from the screenshot. But yeah, I think overall it's doing pretty good. We have at the moment 12,300 subscribers, and the open rate's a little lower just because we're kind of we weren't sending out emails during the first part of that, so that lowers our open rate averages. But yeah, with almost 200,000 emails sent out during that time. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, obviously just tag me in Discord or send me a DM, and I'm more than happy to answer any of those questions. Thanks.
Sweet. All right.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, any questions? I can fill in for Ryan. I think I've got a good overview of what. I probably can't answer all those questions, but I can try if there are any. Cool. I do see Mitchie had a question about the previous one with the documentary license that the videos are under. I mean, yeah, we haven't released any of the content and or gotten release forms from the individuals that were recorded. So. Yeah, we'll want to straighten that out if we want to put any of that content out. So, yeah, I guess at the moment there is no license on it, just because there hasn't been a release at all. So, yeah.
Hey, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Okay, I have no idea what's going on. I had to scrounge through a drawer and find an old microphone and plug it in, but. It's working now. Thanks. Good.
Sweet. All right. Do you want to maybe go through MoonDAO Motion? I can
Sure.
Stop sharing here.
Now
Cool.
Let's see if I can actually share my screen this time. Discord loves to just kick me out right when I share my screen. Well, can you guys see it here?
Yep.
Cool. Good. Okay. So yeah, the MoonDAO in Motion project. The objective of this project was to basically help onboarding through the process of animated infographics. MoonDAO has a lot of very dense, very complicated processes that can be overwhelming for new members when they're trying to get on board. And many of these things are actually, like, once you sit down with it, you realize, okay, it is intuitive and it makes a lot of sense, actually. But it's very difficult to convey these ideas in words alone. And so the idea behind this project is that visual animated infographics are a much better means of communication for the types of information that's in our documentation. The project, just up front, was not fully recognized in time. I still submitted it because I feel that we did make a substantial amount of progress on it. So there are 3 different files here that I'd like to point towards: the storyboard, the audio, and then we have a partial first draft of the video. So I'm just going to go through quickly and show the script that we came up with. Sorry, everything's very slow because I'm recording this as well. But basically, sorry, the images are loading in here. Basically, the script was broken down into what I think are some of the main, like, key features of MoonDAO. We focus first on, like, what the idea of a DAO is without explicitly saying the word DAO. The objective here was to minimize the amount of jargon as much as possible. So we have, like, a Venn diagram showing the revolutionary governance and mission-oriented community and how MoonDAO sits at the center of those things. Then we have this bit that basically goes into our values and what it means, what governance means within a DAO, meaning essentially, I'm sorry, this is really, really slow. I think it's because I'm of the recording. But we talk about the fact that, like, MoonDAO has a governance structure that's similar to the structure of a nation state, but then we talk about some of the differences there. Basically, that we're not limited by the scope of geography, or that we're not limited by geography like a nation would be. We also cover the process of staking, which is an important key feature, and go into detail about the relationship between influence, between commitment and influence. And I felt that after testing this out, like, we spent quite a bit of time, like nearly a month, testing out these ideas, and I even went to just random people at a cafe and asked them for input, and it actually ended up being very helpful. A lot of the best feedback on this project came from outside the DAO. I'm just going to skip through the rest of it really quick. I'm sorry, I don't know why it's so slow, but it does go into basically our process within project distributions and how our coordinates work as well. And then that's basically it. It's about a 2-minute video in total. Or sorry, about a 3-minute video in total. And I will just show, if I can play it here, the first partial draft. Some of the editing, the pacing in this clip is quicker than it will be in the final result. But this is just a little sample of what it might look like. Yeah, here we go.
Welcome to MoonDAO, a revolutionary governance model and mission-oriented community that's reshaping collaboration in the space industry. MoonDAO's mission is to create a self-sustaining...
I'm sorry, guys. That's clearly just freezing up. Yeah, this isn't going to work, but you can watch a video on your own time. I think that Spores has done a pretty good job at what he was able to come up with. But I just want to point out the learnings from this. I think that what I learned personally is that I work much better on a shorter time scale than a longer one. We started this at the beginning of the quarter and gave ourselves until the end of the quarter to finish it, with the believing that we would take no longer than a month to complete the full thing. And so within the first 2 months, I had just started working in the executive branch and was a little overwhelmed with the level of work there. I wasn't able to get to this. And so, yeah, it did lead to some procrastination and deprioritization, I would say. And then towards the end, obviously, because we were working on a tighter time scale, that's when things go wrong, and Spores got sick towards the end and wasn't able to fully complete the project. We will be completing it, though. The video will be finished because we want to have it ready for the onboarding improvement project. And so, yeah, we will be moving forward with it still, even though we didn't technically meet this deadline. I feel like with this type of project, it's really 90% planning and 10% execution. And that 90% planning part, we really knocked out of the park. I think we did an excellent job on that. It's just that last 10% that we just fell short of the deadline. So we didn't get to post it on YouTube. It will be up on YouTube, but that key result was not achieved. And yeah, so that's basically just a summary of the project. I'd like for everyone to watch the video and see, what direction it's going in. But yeah, I think it did still create some value, and it was very useful having a lot of these conversations about how to present MoonDAO to the everyday person.
Totally. I do think, well, I watched the video and it looks great. But I think in the, just to be fair with everything else, we can only really judge things based off of, what the information that we have now. So I think as long as you're okay with, the project being valued, I guess, in this incomplete state, versus rolling it into the next quarter, it's all your call on that. So, I mean, I think that you and Spores will pull through with the final video, but it does kind of put the community maybe in a little tricky position with valuing the half video. So
well,
yeah,
I would I mean, we can definitely roll it into the next quarter. My apprehension with that is that I don't think that it should. Well, I guess it doesn't matter so much because I'm on the onboarding improvement project. But my concern initially with that was that I didn't want to retain Rocketeer status for something like that, because I think that's kind of we're getting into the danger zone when people can extend projects indefinitely and maintain their status because of it. But yeah, with that in mind, I may redact this from the final reports and roll it into next quarter if Pablo, I have your blessings on that. Then yeah.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to be a Rocketeer anyways, because you're a Rocketeer on another project in Q4, right?
Exactly, yeah. That was a relatively recent development, though. I honestly was still kind of in the mindset that I didn't want to, just extend it and maintain my role because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think it's fine from that point of view. Yeah.
This reminds me of the situation we were in not too long ago, with IAC presentations, the quarter ending before, and the reports being due before the presentations would have been made, and things like that. It sounds like essentially the same situation. So, that's twice that it's happened now, and it's been gray area. So maybe next quarter we should spend some time to make something more structured in terms of evaluating this situation, because it's not going to be the last time.
Yeah, I think it's clear from my end. Like, if people submit like half work, then they'll be, I guess, like the rewards will be judged based off of the work that people can verify with their 5 senses. And I think also I want to highlight too. So with stuff like the documentary, where for example, we like the Rocketeers can't see the footage that was recorded. Like I've got the password, so Rocketeers that want to like value the work that was done can just reach out to me, and I'll give you guys, like, I trust all the Rocketeers that we're with, as long as they're not like publishing the footage elsewhere. So I just wanted to bring that up too, because there are cases, like for example with the Lune DARPA proposal with the 10-pager. People, like, I think it should be open for Rocketeers to review that work, if that makes sense. As long as that there's an understanding and a trust there that the Rocketeers aren't going to go ahead and just publish that work.
Yeah, I think I agree. And I didn't mention it at the time, but yeah, for that sort of purpose, the reason why for the networking proposal, the reason why the collaboration group is like wary is just because they don't want someone to snipe the idea and leave us hung out to dry. So for this purpose, evaluating work done and stuff, I think they'll be okay sharing it with voting members to see.
Totally. But yeah, I guess, Michi, I guess it's up to you whether you want to extend it over to Q4 or submit it as is.
I'll talk with Forrest and see what he says, and then get back to you as soon as possible here.
Yeah, I also think like it's so close. Like I know that like that last like rendering step is actually like doesn't take as long as the time that you guys put into creating each of the graphics one by one and then animating each of them. And I know a lot of that legwork is completed.
Creating the graphics was nothing compared to the amount of time thought, like just thinking about the graphics, thinking about these ideas and like thinking about how to convey them to people in a way that isn't going to scare them or overwhelm them. Definitely, like I knew it would be a big challenge, and I thought, I'll knock that out in a week. No, it took a month. But I do feel like it was all very worth it in the end.
For sure. Okay, well, I guess, yeah, let's keep moving along, and yeah, we can, like, I guess just let us know what you and Sports decide. So the next project that we've got here is the Obsidian Docs implementation. So yeah, I'll pass it over to you, Phil. Yeah, definitely share the documentation itself, because it looks beautiful.
Yeah, sure. The summary of this was that MoonDAO docs were a static web page. Basically, the actual core docs, the text and the images and stuff were all created with Markdown, but they were hosted using JavaScript site. Obsidian is a I don't even know what to call it, an app that tracks, lets you organize files and maintain relationships between them. And it has a relatively unique user interface. What they allow is you can choose certain documents to be published and publicly available as a website that resembles the app itself. So the summary for this was to convert the existing docs and host them on a new site based on Obsidian. and then basically structure things so that MoonDAO members or anyone really could submit changes through GitHub, and before anything gets onto the site, like a steward of the docs would manually approve and bring in new changes. So I'm going to go over the key results and objectives first, and then I'll demo the site. Objective 1 was to replace the site with at docs.moondao.com with the new site, where you did that. There's a hitch where the docs.moondao.com does redirect to the site, but we couldn't get the actual. There's a tricky thing where I couldn't get the DNS to actually mask as docs.moondao.com. I'll talk about that a little bit later. As far as the key results here, we have a license for this. I paid upfront for the entire year, so the site will be up and hosted by Obsidian until September 2024. We also, thanks to the MoonDAO status, obtained a discount for being a nonprofit from Obsidian. So the total cost for the DAO is almost $60, and that status will have to renew every year as well. But they were super nice and really, really helpful with that. The way I just want to say a little bit about how it's managed here in the hierarchy of how changes are made. The Obsidian Publish service is tied to my phil@moondao.com account and my Obsidian account with that email. That's where the billing goes. I have to log in with this account in order to change some navigation layouts, like to exclude certain folders by default when we're publishing things, and to add or remove like whitelisted Obsidian email, other whitelisted Obsidian accounts to make changes to the site. So what I've been doing is I don't really stay logged into this account, and I use my personal account, which has been added to the whitelist. And then I can do, it's like maintainer versus owner status is difference in repos, right? So it's like admin versus contributor. And this, MoonDAO has this email. The next key result here was having the docs be really driven by GitHub repository, and like it be very directly changed as far like by GitHub merge requests. We have this repo. It's named Lunar Comms. That's still a to-do to rename it. But it exists, it functions perfectly. It is an active process to sync with Git. And right now the master branch is unprotected, so you can sync directly to master. We can change those settings, obviously, and people can have their own branches of the docs running locally. And what I mean by running locally is, let's see, if I open Obsidian, hey, this is the MoonDAO docs. So this is in my personal app. I have certain plugins installed and everything for how I like to.
Stuck at the other tab. You need to reshare.
Oh, shit. Okay, thank you. Thanks for that call out. So here's the MoonDAO docs. I just clicked this, the Obsidian app and launched the app. Right now, this is the cloned repository, and it's just being interpreted and rendered, and I'm interacting with it through the app. when I use Git to push my changes, it'll take us here, and you'll see everything, the entire structure, everything is here, and it's in Markdown, and it's readable as text. You don't need this app in order to interact with the documents. You can use whatever text editor you like. And and those changes will still propagate, and everything is held together. So that's pretty cool. I've replicated everything that was at the existing docs and added a few things. And then here's the key result was missed, where there's a catch with masking. So right now we have redirects, but publish.obsidian.com or .nd/MoonDAO is the true DNS of our docs. As far as the docs, I just want to also demo the docs themselves, and you can see that I've uploaded a theme, but all of these are interactive links. There's a little interactive graph in the corner that shows outgoing and incoming links. So for example, if we go to the page that talks about the Senate, like I have it linked to some other things, we can, let's click on the MoonDAO Discord server. There's another page for that. A lot of these things that are new and weren't in the old docs are kind of placeholder, but the navigation is, that's linked to the actual concept. Some of these things are links outside, other things are internal links, and so on. I've also done some automation to get a glossary up. So there's in the Obsidian repo, you can make like glossary, make pages that are glossary pages that end up getting shown in here in that table. And there's just a simple template that can be run to regenerate this. And the same thing goes for the team page. So we can just add a new team thing, regenerate the page, and it's automated so that the page itself is pulling from, this. Like it's a, what do you call it? I don't know, composite. So yeah, feel free to click around. One thing that I did also add, and I tried to see if this would work using our docs as kind of also an archive for things like proposals. The proposal structure we have looks great. I think future work here could be converting old ones, or with new proposals having some sort of automation. Maybe through the website with the new app expansion. When people submit their proposal through the app, it would put it in the docs and merge it in, and then things are available on the website. And I think there's a lot of potential here. And since it's accessible with just Markdown, and basically you can have zero code knowledge and still maintain, edit, update, suggest changes to the docs, I think it improves visibility and access. So I'd say this was 99% success. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I have plans next quarter to keep adding to the docs just on my own. And I, encourage everyone else to also make contributions. So.
Awesome. Yeah, great work. Yeah, I've fallen in love with Obsidian slowly. Yeah. And I'm excited to see it being integrated with our governance, and yeah, even with the app at some point down the line, So I think it's all coming together. Great work,
Yep.
Phil.
Yeah, I also have started using Obsidian. I really like it. Phil, I'm gonna have to get with you on a few things. I have some questions for you about it, but I'm very happy. I think it was the right move.
Sure. Happy to help. I'm pretty much a super user at this point.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Well, we're at the last one. Thanks, Greg and Cannon, our two most loyal audience members here, making it through to the last and final one. So yeah, it's L2 operations. So I'll hand it over to Lucas.
Hey guys, first of all, it's awesome to be back.
Yay!
I've been in the hospital for almost a month, and I'm just returning this week. And today is really special because I have the opportunity to spend my birthday, working at MoonDAO and here with you guys at this call. So it's pretty cool. I mean, let's get started with the Mooney vesting. It's an awesome project. So yeah, the main objective of this project was to change the way that we pay our contributors at the DAO. In general, we were paying them through vesting. So the Mooney assets would be vested over a year. And now we are vesting as V-Mooney, so it will be locked for 4 years. It also gives them, give us, to be fair, voting power right away. So the way we're doing it is we set up multi-sigs for each contributor and manually locked the tokens. We did all this in the L2. So we were quite successful. To be honest, it was a ton of work. We were expecting to do that in basically a week, and it took hours and hours and hours. The hardest thing was debugging. The Safe app has a lot of difficulties along the way. It was almost it was more than 1,000 transactions in total. And yeah, I mean, it was hard, but everyone has their Mooney now. To be honest, the only thing missing here is removing the operator multi-sig from 3 wallets. But other than that, this project is pretty much wrapped up. On that path, I'm not even sure if I can do this, but I will present it anyway because this wasn't on my table since last quarter. That is the Stake to Vote on Polygon and Multi-Chain Treasury project. It was a project basically to extend MoonDAO to L2s, specifically Polygon, and this reduced extremely our costs. So the impact on fees went from $40 to lock tokens to 17 cents, basically. And from $2,000 to $15 on the Q1 and Q2 distributions. So myself and Colin, we deployed the Stake to Vote contracts on MoonBuy, and then Colin deployed it on mainnet, and also created the button there on the front end, so we could test it out and implement the multi-chain voting strategy that is live now at the snapshot. So yeah, I also created a Polygon treasury for MoonDAO, and yeah, I guess that's it. It's a short project in terms of expressed results, but it's quite impactful. So I hope that MoonDAO can, grow and be successful now with lower fees.
Well, wait. Oh, did we lose Lucas?
Yeah, I'm back.
Hey.
Something happened there. Sorry.
I have a quick happy birthday. I have a quick question.
Thanks.
I am new to Web3. I see orders of magnitude savings by going to L2, but can you give a ELI 5 for what L2 is, and should I be moving my tokens to L2? What does that even mean?
Yeah, okay.
If you can't ELI 5, you don't have to do it now. You don't have to do it.
Yeah. that's kind of a long explanation, but it's basically a chain that picks up the information of Ethereum mainnet, wrap it up, so it basically puts a lot of data into a smaller container, and then force it, and then that basically makes this chain a lot cheaper, because it's basically a link to the Ethereum. So every time you transaction on L2, you're transactioning between links on Ethereum. I mean, it's a really, really simplified explanation, but it's yeah.
So is this something that users and voting members should do with their Mooney and their B-Mooney, or is this just really infrastructure and under the hood type of things that helps us save money on keeping the lights on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot cheaper to lock Mooney on L2, so...
So I have to go to L2 before I lock Mooney?
You don't have to, but you can too.
Okay.
You know? And we'll be issuing also a step-by-step guide on how to do that. And,
okay,
you know,
thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say, as part of the onboarding project, a big component is going to be communicating like what L2 is, why we're using it, and like how to move your tokens over. So that's it's honestly going to be a pretty big challenge, because even just learning about Web3 stuff generally is difficult, but then you add L2s and then like what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, that's basically it. Any more questions?
Well, I honestly I just want to straighten this up. So wait, the multi-chain voting, that's a previous project, or are you submitting new projects? Okay.
Yeah, it was a different project.
Okay. I've got short-term memory here. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's because this project was just to test it on MoonDAO, basically, but we kind of extended it to implement on mainnet. So.
Lucas, what's your outlook on automation for this process? Because obviously it sounded pretty manually involved, and it's something that we'll need to do again in 3 months.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Not in 3 months, in a week.
No, basically.
Oh, yeah. But it's something we'll need to do every 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about this. With Colin, we had a plan on how to automate things. But, yeah, we couldn't implement it. And the technical hurdles are kind of long and need a lot of testing, with distrusted operations. So, I mean, I'm positive that now that we know how to do it, it will be much faster. But we should definitely try to automate this thing. Being realistic, it will take 6 months to a year to fully automate this, and in a trusted way. So yeah, we can expect more. I don't know, 3 or 4 distributions on this model or a similar model. Yeah, we discussed a little bit the possibility of just simplifying things, even though there's a centralization risk involved of just having one trusted operator doing all the transactions. It would save us basically, from 1.5K of transactions, we will do about 500. So yeah, it would save a lot of time, but at the same time, it's less secure. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I honestly, I wasn't expecting you to be like, oh, we'll have this all automated next time. I assumed it would be, a little more complicated than that. But no, that sounds good. I know that, I've seen it happen already with things at MoonDAO where we start off being like, yeah, we'd love to automate this, but that's really complicated. But then eventually the technology catches up, and now it's like, oh, actually, well, that's kind of feasible now. So
Yeah, I mean, the problem to go to automation was basically that the basic stuff took just too much time. Things that we were planning to do in a day took a week basically. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder if this next time that we run it, like we just ask people to lock the tokens on Polygon, and if they don't, then we just boot them. I don't know. Like maybe we do it something like that, where it's like there is some trust involved, but we just let them lock it themselves. I don't know. Just a thought, because this was like 1,500 transactions. It was hours and hours and hours of work. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lucas. You're a trooper.
Yeah.
You're welcome, guys. It was a lot of fun. Fights with UI and all that jazz.
I imagine you like just sitting there signing transaction after transaction, being like, "Woo!"
I wish it was that simple. I think that the worst part was, hey, I just signed 20 transactions and all of them failed, and I need to resign all of them, to resubmit all of them. So yeah.
Oof, that's rough. Okay, well, we've made it through all of the presentations, guys. So the four of us that are left.
And in 2 hours, which, hey, not bad.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of projects, but yeah.
I think that like I was saying earlier, if we did all just do videos in advance and played them, then we could easily edit them down and make them super quick. I think that would actually cut down on time, and it would make it more accessible to people who can't be at this meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also with automated subtitles and other
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah. It'd be easier to translate and do a bunch of things. So.
Totally. Yeah, I wonder, these sort of rituals. Oh, Mitch, I'm getting some background.
Sorry.
Yeah, these sort of rituals are really important, though, and just like highlighting like what's actually been going on at MoonDAO. But we definitely can't expect anyone to listen 2 hours of like people's presentations with like kind of like these in betweens of like, oh, is your mic working? Is your thing going? That's just not, I think, like an expectation we can set for like broader community. It might be cool if like me as the astronaut or someone within the community does like a roll up of like, hey, this is like everything that we did in the quarter, highlighting all of the work and doing it in like 5 minutes or less, and just like a higher pace, higher energy, like real presentation that's like walking through like all of the huge wins that we've had, because there are like really big wins here. It's just that they're kind of hidden in all of these like ums and R's and like, is your mic? So people just don't hear about them, but we should definitely be celebrating this stuff because there's a lot to celebrate.
We should have a presentation.
I think it would be really useful to do that on Twitter Spaces, because we have a kind of a bigger audience there.
Mm-hmm.
Or just post the video on Twitter and go fun it. But it's cool.
I do think like even with Twitter Space, like I like to almost have like a Loom presentation where we're like actually showing the results, and people can actually see the stuff, and it's not so much that we like hand it off one to the other. Maybe we have some of the people in our community that are great presenters do it, but it's kind of like we expect a lot of our Rocketeers. We expect them to be operations, project management, governance, presentations. So it's like it's tough. So yeah. But anyways, yeah, we made it all the way through.
Cool.
You did it.
Yeah, we did it. Another quarter in the books. Yeah.
Do you guys want to talk a little bit and gather town, or are you really tired and just want to drop off?
Yeah, no, I can hang around, gather down for at least a little bit here.
10
But
minutes.
I am, am tired.
Yeah. I invited Cannon up here if
cool.
Cannon wants to jump on. We could jump over to gather. Yeah, I'm pretty hungry. Probably gonna get some dinner in a sec. But yeah, down to. Also, yeah, happy birthday! Happy birthday, Lucas! Like, thank you for spending like hours of your birthday signing transactions. Like,
I prefer busy birthdays, to be honest.
Well, I hope you get the chance to celebrate, and maybe on the weekend, when
I celebrate my birthday the same way every year. I basically stay in bed all day and I watch Pinky and the Brain.
That's awesome.
I've never actually watched Pinky and the Brain. Am I missing?
What? Oh wow!
What? Man.
Is that Cartoon Network?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
No?
Yeah, it is. Well, at least in Brazil, it's.
It was it's like a sub show of Animaniacs.
I mean, I've definitely heard of it, and I know the characters. Like they come to mind pretty easy, but Steven Spielberg. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. It's one of my. It grew up on it. Very nostalgic for me, but still, I like that they have a lot of adult jokes that the kids wouldn't get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading about it now. Yeah, it looks like it's just Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. I remember seeing it on as a kid, but I don't know if I ever actually watched it.
Well, you should.
But yeah, I'm glad to have you back, Lucas. Like you had us really scared, honestly.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
By the
I'm
way,
still pretty lost with the context around MoonDAO, but it's good to be back.
We'll catch you back up for sure. Yeah, but
by the way, I've ended the recording on StreamYard, and I was actually also recording on Loom, and I'm gonna try to end that now, but I think I've